Good morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are in the world. Welcome to today's Link to the Past daily race here on Speed Gaming 4. Today we are starting off Fast Friday with a Fast Ganon open start with starting boots. And tonight's runners are Kamachu, Doomtap, Matcap, and Lindenlin. And I'm Professor Render, and joining me is my co-commentator Nitro6003. How are you doing?
I'm great, thank you. How are you today, sir?
I am doing really well. So we will start with the boots today, and it's also an open world, so we don't have to worry about the standard escape sequence. We're going to be going green pretty soon.
Yeah, so we'll see what early divergences our runners have this afternoon with boots. It's always interesting to see which way the runners.
Yeah, this will be exciting to watch. As I'm really familiar talent here for those who've watched the randomizer tournament. So this will be very exciting. Very, very exciting.
Yeah, so we'll have to just wait and see what that trolley item is going to be today. Yesterday we just had a jet seed.
Yeah, I don't expect any trolls, and we are underway. Green, green, green. Starting things off everyone's starting at Link's house, starting with 5 rupees.
Looks like we have pendants at Eastern Palace, Hera, and Desert are regular crystals.
All right, so Lin is actually going to start off, and pretty much everyone except for Gamachu also going over to Sahasrara directly. Gonna go and grab the items off of Sahasrara. Gamachu picking up that tier 1 tree pole. And we find out that the green pendant is in Misery Mire, so we only need so we have 2 of our known pendants so far. Nothing inside Sahasrara's closet outside of 40 rupees and just some arrows. Not even arrows, just and going over to the sanctuary, we have a key, the Dark Cross key, and Doomtap going for a very early Eastern Palace play.
That's really good divergence. We'll see what he gets there. No bow, no lamp, or fire rod. So we'll see what he gets. Meanwhile, Mackin and Lin heading into Punk Rocks for the first bottle of the.
This is nice to get a bottle this early on, since this is before you're going into Kakariko. You will have access to the sick kit as soon as you enter Kakariko right away. First chest is our first item, which is 10 arrows. Yeah, this is a very, very interesting play from Doomtap, going directly over to Eastern Palace, just without a bow, without any fire source, like either a lamp or a fire rod at all, period. And this is something that's only pay off for him.
Oh, that's a medallion.
So that right away gives us a 33% chance of us having to deal with an Agate Seed.
Yeah, well, we'll have to wait and see if Turtle Rock is or Misery Mire required. I mean, obviously, I know Turtle Rock is Misery Mire's green pendant, but there's always that pesky item that's on the green pendant potentially. So we'll have to wait and see. Just $20 in the mushroom spot.
Gamachu going to drop down into the Thief drop down, going for a heart piece.
Alright, so all of our runners on their way to Kakariko. Looks like Gamachu is the only one that has bombs at the moment. We should note.
So Gamachu will have the advantage of having bombs as soon as they get into Kakariko. So we're gonna go immediately over to the Blind Hut. This was the first thing you normally would do if you're going from the top to the bottom. Dude,
Pizza Hut, another bottle. We got 20 bucks and triple bottle.
so even if you didn't get that bottle from off of the bonk rocks, you still have another potion ready to go and turn into the sick kid.
Yeah, exactly. So if you forget, at least you're not going to get trolled by that. All right, Gamachu heading into the well. So some items here. We'll see what we get.
First, we're starting off 10
arrows.
10 arrows, yeah.
And 20 bucks in the back. 300 bucks. A whistle, the flute, and a piece of heart. That is really the perfect Kakariko start. The only thing that's missing is the hammer and the powder.
Yeah, this is really nice. And yes, flutes and whistles are technically wind instruments, so this also counts. So, bottle vendor going with 3 bombs. Gamachu immediately activating the flute. So, we have now a goose that's untitled.
Yeah, and you can't ask for a better place for the flute. You just really can't.
Oh, definitely not. Especially when you have also bottles in addition. You can do almost everything outside of the magic bat.
Yeah, exactly. All right, let's see what's in the chicken hut today. Doesn't get the chicken clip on Gamachu's side, but does get 50 more bucks for his efforts.
Doom Tap on their way over to get the flute from out of the well, while Gamachu heading for the sick kid.
And just 20 bucks. Let's see what's in the back of the bar today. And just 20 more bucks.
So
what's nice is we could also get the library item if we want, if it's necessary. So yeah, we pretty much are going to clear out Kakariko with the exception of Magic Bat. And that's just 300 more bucks. And Gamachu decides, you know what? So I paid off all my bribes around Hyrule. Might as well get.
yeah, at this point, having 2 jackpots right away, that covers all the money that we really can care for in this entire seed.
Ooh, but there's a mirror on the race game. So that opens up a lot on Death Mountain. We can go into Harrer. We can't full clear it yet at this point. No light source and no weapon to kill Moldorm. So we'll have to wait and see where the runners get on next.
I personally would say just to go for South Shore and not go for the really early Death Mountain play. Yes, well, you can. This is now in logic outside of maybe the old man cave, which really doesn't matter. Just get a save point. You could go into Hera, but again, you don't have a fire source. You don't have a hammer to kill.
There's Ice Rod.
Well, okay, so that's one thing that we might potentially need in case Turtle Rock is a crystal. But this doesn't really. This won't hurt Moldorm any whatsoever.
No, unfortunately not. All right, when we drain the well, there's our 3rd bottle already. And we're only 7.5 minutes in.
Finding bottles this early is very nice because you have a lot of safeties. You got a lot of safeties right away. And the fact that you have 2 green bottles in addition to a fairy, this is very nice to have all of them right away before you even dip into any dungeon.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so Ice Rod on Mini Moldorms here in Mini Moldorm Cave.
All right, for the Mini Moldorm Cave items, we have Blue Mail. Oh, there we go.
The Red Mail.
Nice.
Heart piece. And another heart piece.
So 2 males and a bow all the way over in Mini Moldorm Cave. So we're not really too worried about. We have 4 hearts 4 hearts red mail is very nice to. Is also really nice to find as well, because that way you're very
Oh,
early.
the hammer in Ice Rod Cave.
You're like well protected, and that hammer. Oh yeah, that hammer. That's really nice to find. And this is before Madcap even went over to Mini Moldorm Cave.
Well, that opens up East Death Mountain now with the hammer, and Agina has $50. And it looks like Mackin's setting up the water walk, heading towards Zora, Sick Kid, Hobo, and all those checks. Yeah, with Flute, you're really not going to see very many save and quits at this point.
That is
in the
true.
waterfall. We have $20 and a single green root.
21 rupees. Madcap, I'm going over and directly over to the Zora area. This will be out of logic because we don't have a glove.
And there's a heart container on Zora Ledge. Probably not gonna get that one.
Lynn heading for the front of Escape.
Alright, let's see what King Ripoff has today. Oh, a fetch crush and a mushroom.
Now so we're not totally scammed by a loan shark yet, but we'll see what that happens. So Doom Tap going up the mountain and going to. This is without the hammer, so he's probably gonna take a gamble directly. Oh.
Ooh, takes an unfortunate death. Now, I wonder if Mackin's gonna hard reset after he gives up the mushroom in case the mushroom item isn't progress, just so he can use it later to fake powder.
Only did he save and quit?
I think he did. Oh, but that's a moon pearl.
Oh!
So mushroom to moon pearl. That is definitely not a hard resettable item there.
Yeah, and that actually makes Zora makes Zora worth it.
Oh, absolutely.
So we're only just a glove away from Dark World access without Aga.
Well, Lin has a glove on his tracker, so we just figure out where he got it. Oh, he got it in the escape. All right, so we have commentators Dark World access.
Yeah, that's nice to have really early on. Just the fact that you can get your Dark World access already, like very close by, and you know they're a little bit out of the way, thanks in part to the Zora play, which is going to be which will now be in logic because of the gloves.
Yep. There's the glove. It's in the vanilla boomerang chest. Aga1 is not dead yet, Orange. We have a medallion up there, so we just have to figure out what the medallions are for Turtle Rock and Misery Mire if that is required. It is the green pendant, so maybe not required, but if Quake is required for Turtle Rock, then we'd still have an Aga Seed.
That is the case here, so we're gonna go and check that out right away. Doomtap's not gonna go and. So Doomtap's not gonna go and check out the Dark World just yet, and heading directly over to Tower Hera. This is again very this is a very risky play, considering that Doomtap does not have the hammer nor a fire source if he finds it. So the fact that the big key's here, that does mean that we can go up to kill Moldorm if right away once the other runners have gone up the mountain at that point.
All right, we're gonna go to the back of Escape for 3 items, and we got the map, 10 arrows, and Bloomerang, which means there is an item in Dark Cross, and it looks like Yamaju's heading directly there.
Now this is going to be tricky for Gamachu, at least from my perspective, because since we don't have a lamp, we don't have a fire rod to make this make the dark rooms less painful. But I'm pretty sure Gamachu can just deal with it just fine.
Yeah, it looks like he's doing just fine. These are probably not the hardest dark rooms in the game, but some that you should definitely learn, so you don't have to wait for the lamp or the fire rod. And it looks like it was money. So, all right. So we have Turtle Rock Crystal, 5-6 crystals at Pod and Ice Palace, and I missed where the other red pendant was.
If by going by process of elimination, I would say Thieves Town.
Okay.
So Lynn, also Madcap is the first player to have Dark World access. Lynn going directly over to Moldorm, with that hammer in hand, getting that big key.
All right, Doom Tap gonna get his item here. All right, Gamachu does rescue the old man.
Madcap looking to go over to Cave 73 to get his, I guess, not so sort of hype, I guess, just whatever. It's a mixed bag.
We'll have to wait and see. Yeah, well, you're all right. Thieves Town is our other pendant today.
Process of elimination.
Yep.
So we have the possibility of AGA 1 depending on if that item is, if that medallion is required. And Madcap, yeah, going over to Cave 73.
All right, so let's see what's here. First item is the swag net. All right. Ether, $20, $5, and the Titans mats. There's your hype cave back for you.
Well, now with the bug net, yes, you have access to fairies that you can powder, or not even powder, you just catch. But with the ether, it's nice. It's a medallion, but we don't know if this is required for Turtle Rock or not. As Lynn takes down Moldorm, gets the map, and will be drawing first blood at 1639. Flippers on the Stumpy.
It looks like he's also heading to Cave 43.
45.
45.
It's 73 is on the opposite side.
And just 10 arrows.
And
well, what's really interesting for where that Titan's mid is, and for Mackin not going up to Death Mountain yet, he can full clear all of Death Mountain when he goes up there, so it'll be much better routing for him. He'll do his Village of Outcasts first, but when he finally goes up to Death Mountain, he'll be able to clear not only the Light World, but the Dark World as well, plus check Turtle Rock's medallion.
And we also saw that from Lynn's side, we did find out that there is a sword on top of the island, on the floating island.
Okay, so we know where one of our swords are, and there's the other one in the dig game.
Speaking of swords.
All right, so we now know where Master Sword is. Yes, Jason, you're right. You can't full clear. You would. The only thing you can't do is Hookshot Cave, but everything else is totally accessible at this point.
Well, you can do Hookshot Cave.
You can do the first
or
you can hover.
Yeah, you could get the bonk chest, or you can also hover if you know how to do it. Lynn going to Paradox Cave alongside Doontap, just waiting in the wings, just behind.
All right, so heart piece, another heart piece, $20. 50 bucks and single arrow and triple bombs in the hammer peg.
So nothing within Paradox Cave of note. Matt kept going to turn in the blacksmith. Now, in Madcap's case, a lot of people. So in Madcap's case, he has a huge advantage thanks in part to the Zora play that he made to get the mushroom that's required for the Moon Pearl. Now, this gives him a lot of time to just do a lot of the Dark World checks, and also do more on Death Mountain than you would normally would do.
And he's gonna finish the blacksmith chain with purple chest right now. And just a piece of hurt.
Madcap going over to check go to Meyer area, gonna check the medallion over there.
That is Quake.
And for reference, the Quake medallion is on top of Ega 1.
Yep. So if there's anything on the green pendant or anything in Misery Mire, this is an Agaseed. Yes, it is a 7/7 fast Ganon. Question in chat.
Yes.
So that means we don't have to climb GT.
Yeah, just going clear out all the 7 crystals, then drop down into the convenience Ganon drop down that's available at the start of the game, and you're onto the Ganon fight. Madcap going over to check the checkerboard cave, and there's
the silvers.
Silver arrows is really, really nice for Madcap at this point, because now that yes, you only have a fire sword. That's your only sword that you have that you know of, and finding silver arrows this early on in the game, it will help significantly when you are fighting bosses like Lamulus.
Yeah, exactly.
I kept taking a brief detour over to the Agina cave, which was 50 rupees. Gamachu gonna go and grab the Moon Pearl off of the bottle vendor, and also getting a blue potion. So it looks like Gamachu's gonna just convert all the green potions into blue potions, which is a good idea to which is a nice idea, because green potions, since blue potions will not only heal your magic but also heal your health. So it's really nice to have blue potions earlier on, or at least convert them into blue potions.
And it looks like Mad Cat is heading to do pod. So lots of divergence here.
Yeah, this is a big divergence, and since Madcap, I like what Madcap's doing here, since this is a crystal that you can clear, and it's also one of the 5/6 crystals. Now, we won't have access to Ice Palace because we don't have either Fire Rod or Bombos, but doing pod right away as soon as you got both bows, and as well as the hammer that you already had originally, is, I feel like, a good idea.
Yeah, the only thing is that if you know your dark rooms, then absolutely you. But I mean, the whole back of it is at the moment not in logic without at least a fire rod. So we'll have to wait and see what's here.
Yeah, with that fire rod, you're only the only logical thing you can really do, the only logical check you can make is the room just underneath the turtle room.
right, so there's our map. And Doomtown will be the last one of our, one of the last ones on our restream to be getting his moon pearl. Lin not there yet either.
Like I mentioned, the fact that Matcap was able to get the moon pearl that early on is very nice. Looks like Matcap forgot to get a key from here, and so there's a key right just below that.
And there's 10 arrows in Skull Woods. Wasn't sure if the other item was found, but we know at least one of them. And there's $5 for Mackin.
Kamajit going to check out the bumper cave. And
Ooh, there's our 4th bottle. Not gonna get that one.
well, at least we know all 4 bottles in the game. That will be locked, and our last one is locked behind the cape. So, and even then you still have a lot of safeties. This was a pretty safety heavy bottle selection.
Yeah, exactly. Alright, so Gamachu heading to Graveyard Ledge. For 10 arrows. And there's key. So let's see what's in King's Tomb.
Oh, I like this. Madcap is going to catch some fairies, just in case he go. I think his reason for doing this is probably because of the dark rooms.
Oh yeah, that would be my guess.
Yeah, because the thing is that since you only have one bottle, there's only one bottle of a fairy that you can pick up already, and that was from the bonk rocks. You can just catching the fairy right away with the bug net out of Cave 73. You have access to more bottles and have more access to fairies. So you have 2 other fairy revivals that you can do before you eventually fully die. Then going to get the mushroom of Zora, and that will lead to the moon pearl.
Oh, there's our cape in the chess game. And the thief doing what he does best, stealing stuff.
So Doontap could just get that final bottle if he so chooses. Gamachu also picking up that cape. And Madcap going to go to the room underneath the turtle room, that big long dark hallway with the anti-fairies and such.
And there's 10 arrows. I'm gonna guess the other item was either rupees or a dungeon item.
I think it was a dungeon item. Because I think rupees do show up when it's still a dark room and you don't have a lamp. Of course, I could be wrong about that, and that was actually rupees.
Yeah, trying to keep an eye on the different screens here to see what they get in the dark rooms. And that's the thing that you have to be also aware of when doing your dark rooms. There's our compass. So
That was most likely 20 rupees then, or at least rupees.
yeah. So there's at least one more chest, 2 more chests that he'll be able to get here before going to the boss. to
Madcap
Hello
is low on health, but as we mentioned before, Madcap does have 2 fairies, so he can take a death here, and he will still be fine. And it makes a whole lot of sense for Madcap to even do the 2 fairies here, because the room with the turtles and when you're heading to the back of Pod over to Helmasaur is really annoying in the dark. So having to do that, having to do that check right away, or at least having to get the fairies right away, at least gives them 2 shots to at least get through that room.
Looks like he's having a little bit of trouble in these dark room in the dark maze.
Yeah, the dark maze is very tricky to navigate without the lamp.
Yeah. Oh, there's Kana Samaria.
That was worth it.
Oh yeah. And 20 bucks, so Helmasaur King will have the final item.
So logically, the Kansamari is locked behind the lamp, and like I said, it was worth to go through the dark room and having to go through that dark room and having a little issues about it and come out with something of worth like the Kansamaria.
Yeah, exactly. Especially when Turtle Rock is a crystal and will be necessary. So we would need to find it. So yeah.
All right, Madcap heading to the back of Pod. It's gonna rock with 3.5 hearts. And this will be... So, see what happens with Madcap as he goes through this dark room sequence.
Yeah, the turtles, Turtle Room is definitely the more difficult one, and it looks like Gamachu also heading towards Pod.
So Gamachu will get the King of Samaria. Gamachu gonna take a brief.
Just practice. You like, if you guys who are in chat are watching this and wondering how they do it, it's all practice, knowing the rooms, knowing the enemies, maybe letting the enemies bump into you a little bit. That's really what it is. Just practice.
Yeah, knowing how the dark room, knowing the dark rooms is very essential into having to break it out of the habit of having the lamp in hand for pretty much everything.
Exactly. K45 was arrows.
Madcap at a half a heart, so he does take a death here. He will have that fairy in hand. That's why he got them to begin with.
You're welcome. Alright, so Lin inside Desert Palace. No fire source though at this point.
But it isn't boots locked. Not like a match resort with the boots anyway. Madcap onto the Helmasaur King fight. He did get through the hammer room, the turtle room just fine after taking a death.
triple bombs. And down goes Homosaur King.
That will be Madcap's
And
first
triple
crystal.
more bombs.
No, yeah, 3 bombs on both for both items, and a Master Sword locked behind Helmus Arcane. For Madcap at least. That would be the Temper
locked
Sword.
behind the Fire Rod or Lamp.
But-
Yeah, Madcap. Yeah, 3 swords that we know of. So we now know Tempered is available.
Now, logically, the entire sequence requires you to have the lamp, because there's not enough torch boxes to have to use the fire rod. Make that entirely logical. Helmus, the 3 swords that we know of is Helmus Arcane, the Dig Game, and the Floating Islands. To answer a question in chat.
It looks like Mackin rescuing the old man.
And Doomtap is going to set up for it's going to do a hover. One of the more tricky hovers because you have to turn around as soon as you get to that other side. Doomtap didn't get it, so just going for one attempt and just doing it normally.
Yeah, once you have too many, then it doesn't really pay anymore. Mackin save it and quitting, not doing anything on Death Mountain as of yet, so we'll see where he goes next.
Doomtap also forgetting that he didn't have a key to do that other play, so he's got the key there. Answer
Samoa
question.
was in the dark maze.
Yeah, the answer question in chat was the dark maze of Pod.
Looks like Mackin heading to Dark Cross. Looks like Gamachu's trip through the dark maze was very clean there. And Lin does make the successful hover over to the other side.
Very nicely done.
All right, so Mackin will most likely take a visit to Tower of Terror, and then go to East Death Mountain, and then into Dark Death Mountain, and then just depending on his routing, he will probably check on Chara Rock Medallion. So we should know shortly which the other medallion potentially required for the seed, although we still have no idea what's in Misery Mire, and hopefully we never have to step foot in it. And plus, we'd also, in order for that to even be a thing, we'd have to find the lamp to run Aga anyway. Because Aga in the dark is definitely not fun.
Definitely not. It's one of the more annoying things. So in that case, there would have Actually, no, that doesn't matter. Actually, that wouldn't matter because we didn't do Aga. We didn't do Aga before Dark because we didn't need to do it because we didn't have we already found the mysterious stuff we needed. I was thinking that we need to find like 2 swords. So the lamp has to be out there that isn't pod, that isn't like isn't the pod or isn't pod or anything else. We know 2 swords that are in logic.
Yep.
And that would have been the dig game sword and the sword on top of the floating rocks or the floating island. Ooh.
Not getting the bomb jump there.
At least the good thing is that he did put the switch so that way he doesn't. I think he hit the switch that way he doesn't fall off 2 stories.
Yeah, that seems to make sense. Alright, Damachino on his Helmasaur King fight.
Now Cap could take the normal Nintendo intended way to get the big chest of Tower Hero. There's Gamachu's second sword.
Yeah, so 2 crystals for Gamachu, 2 crystals for Mackin.
Gamachu over on the way to the Mire area, gonna have the information that Quake will be required for Misery Mire, which is locked behind Aga 1. We're still not out of the woods yet, so Madcap will actually get the information regarding if Turtle Rock requires Quake or not.
And if it does, it's an Aga 1 seed.
Now, but if it isn't, then there's still a possibility that Misery Mire could have what we need, which is locked behind Aga 1. Either which is either the 2 items inside Misery Mire or the green pendant.
Yeah.
It's just that it's not a big of an incentive currently to do it. But if it comes down to it, then we might have to see the runners go through Aga 1 just to get the Quake for Misery Mire.
Gamachu gonna get his 2 items out of desert, and no bat for now, no fire source as of yet. And simultaneous boss kills with Lin and Doom Tap.
Very nicely done.
Swords.
Very, very nicely done. Gamachu is gonna grab the silver arrows, and it makes sense for so it makes a whole lot of sense for everyone to get to these silver arrows here at this early on in the game because we're not up to tempered sword. We're not at tempered sword yet, and we know that there is tempered sword on the floating islands. Getting the silver arrows here would actually Skin and severed arrows would just make it Master Sword Ganon currently, but seeing that Madcap will probably grab a sword from off of the floating islands, we will have a normal fight here. All right, so here's the burning question that will get answered here. Will it be an Aga 1 seed? Is it Quake on Turtle Rock? Or is it something like Ether or Bombos? With a 33% chance that we might have an Aga seed.
All right, here we go.
Survey says
Ether.
Ether. All right, so we're not incentivized to kill Aga 1 yet. Now, like I said, if it's possible that the Quake, that there is progression in Misery Mire or something, on the Green Pendant, then we might have to kill Aga 1.
You know what could be really evil in this being a math girl seed? We could definitely say it's possible. Bombos in Misery Mire for Fire Rod on Green Pendant.
Don't be like chat.
I'm not being like Chad. I just know what math girl seeds do.
I mean, yeah, that's true. That's true. But like, it's still like chat though. All right. Anyway, Madcap getting nothing out of Super Boat Bunny Cave. I'm gonna go and check the bonk chest of Hookshot Cave. It's possible to get the hookshot here through the bunk.
Oh yeah, for sure.
That would be nice to see though.
Nope, just a heart container.
Sad. But Madcap will get that sword off of the floating islands. I may have thought of something that will probably be pretty sad. Need to confirm this, but Fire Rod could potentially be on the pedestal if we find the lamp.
Yeah, could be.
Yeah, there's these
town, Misery Mire, and Eastern Palace. So yeah, as long as we get the lamp, and Mackin stepping foot into Turtle Rock. If the key layout is in such a way, you can get all the way to Laser Bridge.
There's one.
Yeah, exactly.
Now to go on to my thought about the pedestal too. Since we know that that Quake is required for Misery Mire, not only will we have if there is a Fire Rod on the pedestal, which is possible because of the fact that we have Eastern and Thieves Town, which is a really easy dungeon to clear, but this also leads to the possibility. So if it's on the pedestal, then we also have to kill Aga 1, which results in an Aga Ped seed.
Which makes Chat very happy.
Yeah, that's so true.
They so rarely get their Aga Ped seeds, so I'm still rooting for them.
Yeah, there's...
And it looks like Lin is gonna not kill blind. Interesting. Got his items and says, nope, I'm done.
Yeah, and as Tabby Cat kind of explains in chat, it would technically be Oops All Dungeons if that is the case.
Alright, so $20 there. Alright, let's see what's on Mimic Cave and see what else we do here. No big key, so Mimic Cave will be the last check that we can make.
Yeah, that you went pretty far.
Yeah. So that means big key is locked behind the fire rod. And just money.
Another jackpot. So that's our turtle rock for now.
Alright, let's see where Mackin heads next. And it looks like Doomtap not gonna go into Mimic Cave at this point. It looks like Doomtap is gonna head over to Spike Cave. So we haven't seen Catfish yet.
Yeah,
And
that
I
is
think
true.
that's where the boots would have been because it was empty.
Yes, because of the fact that we have to take the boots out of the item pool to give them into your inventory, there has to be another thing in the chest to begin with. So we just put in a empty chest. But if that's a really mean spot for the boots, if this
Oh, no, that's
wasn't
Hookshot.
the oh wait, it was Hook.
That was Hookshot. I take that back. I'm sorry. That was
Okay, okay, that is
Sorry.
even then it's still
It,
mean.
it looked empty.
It did. I'm sorry.
It looked empty.
It
I'll
did.
take full responsibility for that mistake, but it still looked empty to me. Chat saying that Lin checked Catfish and it was a herpes. Thank you.
Cool. So so it's not Catfish. So at this point in the game, we're just looking for the fire rod.
Yeah. And it looks like Gamachu heading into Swamp Palace.
It makes a whole lot of sense to do Swamp Palace right away, since you have since you just got your hook shot.
And Hookshot Cave was empty.
You just got your hook shot. Gamachu's just following the hook shot right away makes tons of sense.
Yeah, he has a crystal dungeon he can full clear. Why not?
And one thing too is that we have not seen the book. As much as I don't like pet seeds, it's at this point in the game, since you were still looking for a few more items, just one item, it's still unlikely, but given the circumstances of the seed, it will still like it will cascade into an Agaped seed, as we mentioned, just because of the fact that Quake is on Aga locked behind Aga 1, which is on Lumberjack Ledge. and that's needed for the just say the turtle. Say for the item that's on pad, and I don't know what else. Yeah, so the only thing that's left inside pedestal that can be on pedestal is the fire rod.
Yeah, pretty much. That's a nice place to get the big key.
Yeah, it's nice to find the big key right away before you go check the big chest. Just a heart piece, but it's still nice to have very early on if you want to check that just right away. So, Gambit, you're gonna go to the back of Swamp House, which is a good idea because you have you can clear this dungeon now. It's a crystal,
And
and
nobody likes doing the left side swamp anyway.
unless there's some items there, and that's that's really annoying. So, Gambit, you're gonna go just drain the. Just going to go and check the flooded chest, and also the waterfall chest, then Argus, and if there's anything left, then we have to deal with left side swamp.
There's $20, and there's Bombo, so that gets us to Ice Palace.
Yeah, Ice Palace is now in play.
And beatable.
And beatable too.
So with seeing that map, that means that there's at least one item in left side swamp. I have not seen the compass, so we'll have to see if Argus drops the compass, and there are 2 items in left side swamp.
Yeah, that's what we're looking at so far. Kamachu onto the Argus fight. You have Tempered Sword. This will be a pretty quick kill of the small Argai.
Yeah, so no compass yet, so this will be... If this is the compass, then there's 2 items in left side swamp. And it is, so there are 2 items in left side swamp. And with him taking out the hook shot, I'm gonna guess he's going back in.
Yeah, I don't blame Gamachu at all to go and do that right away. Just go to left side swamp. You're looking for 2 items. You're still 2 items remaining before you clear them out fully.
And it's just such a pain to come all the way back here if you're wrong. So you might as well do it while you're here.
So at this point,
Doom Tap's gonna go left side swamp first, so we will get the information from his side first.
okay, so that doing left side swamp does clear out some of that time, but it still adds a bit of time compared to just clearing the boss outright and coming back later.
All right, so $20 first item. Let's see what the other one is. A red meringue. So nothing of value in left side swamp today.
So at this point, I feel like you should go to Ice Palace. I recommend I think for me, I would rather just clear out as many crystal dungeons as I can do at the moment. Which,
yeah, it makes a lot of sense. 3 items in Ice Palace, so yeah, I mean that would definitely be the choice because you can full clear it, and if it's not there, then we have to start thinking about the pendant dungeons. And I believe we've cleared out what we know of Eastern and of Thieves Town. So if there's a lamp inside of Ice Palace and nothing else, that means we have to go to Misery Mire. And Mackin, let's see if he full clears Thieves Town or not. if he gets the pendant while he's here or if he decides to do something else. And let's see where Gamashu heads next.
He's gonna flute. Going to Ice Palace.
Yep, going Ice Palace. That's definitely a better move right there. You can't clear desert. You know, you can't clear Skullwood, so you know you're still looking for that fire rod. So yeah, this is definitely a great play.
Yeah, this is the correct call to make. If you find the fire rod here, then you're in go mode logic. You're in go mode, but not logically. But who cares about logic? So
Yeah, it's Fast Friday. Nobody cares about logic on Fast Friday.
or even just logic in general for these runners.
Yeah, there you go.
Which, by the way, as we're approaching the hour mark, you should definitely give these runners a nice hearty follow. They're doing a very excellent job at what they do on a daily basis. If you want to see what they do outside of these races, definitely give them a nice follow, and also give a nice hearty follow to our trackers. We have Sapphire and MathGirl718 on tracking you today. And yeah, you should definitely give them a follow.
Alright, so it looks like Matt Cat is gonna clear out Thieves Town. Set up the bomb jump on Gamachu's side. Nice. Doom also headed towards Ice Palace. We have Lililin and Doom Tap and Gamachu all in Ice Palace right now. Matt Cat still not at that point yet, so we'll see where he goes after Thieves Town.
Big ol' hundo in the Thieves Town pit chest.
Alright, let's see what is upstairs.
Over on the hookshot block side, as Madcap is entering the blind fight.
Now he takes blind to the room, but mirrors out. So not gonna clear blind at this point.
I think his intention is that he wants to have the blind fight already in set up before in case he has to do two pendant dungeons, always clear runs for a pet seed. That he will have the
Ooh, so that puts angle 1 into logic.
Yes, it does.
And there's the second item. I believe that's the heart container. And it looks like Backhat gonna fake powder here.
Oh, he completely forgot that he had already used his mushroom just to get the moon pearl. There's no way you can. There's no way you can fake flipper. Fake powder
Wait
here.
a second. How is he fake powdering? He doesn't have the mushroom. So
He
we both forgot.
Yeah, it looks like since we needed the mushroom to get the moon pearl, there's no way you can fake powder, so you have to get the powder anyway.
Alright, so I think that might be all the items. $20, heart container, and a lamp. So Aga, I think that's because I think we've done everything that we can. So I think Aga has a quake, which is required for Misery Mire.
Now, again, it is for the green pendant. It is possible that we now. I think if I need to remember this right. Now you can clear out Desert Palace at this point. That's now.
Yes, so now you can full clear desert. But I don't think there are any items left in the desert. I'll have to see what chat says, but I think we've got both of them, so I think we have to go to Aga now. I don't know where else we could go that we haven't been. We've full cleared Thieves Town. We've full cleared, I think the only thing, we can't do Skull Woods, but we got both items out of it anyway. So I wonder if Gabchu heads towards Aga next. We'll have to see. And Tabby Cat, yeah, Aga lives. Absolutely. And that's another reason why I learned the Dark Rooms, because of where the lamp was. I mean, to think about it logically, to where the lamp was and then put that all back into logic, you would have had to double and triple tip some of these other dungeons. So, oh yes, Pyramid Fairy. Yes, thank you, chat. Yes, we saw Pyramid Fairy.
Yeah, Pyramid Fairy is now in play because of the fact that we're killing out. We killed down Holster here. And it is also Samaria locked.
That means that Kana Samaria locked out Ice Palace, technically speaking.
Yes, that it was Samaria locked. And we already have Samaria, so it doesn't matter.
So yeah, then Gamachu will do Big Bomb first, then we'll see what he gets.
Now, if it's the Fire Rod here, then Madcap still has to have a fairy. Okay, yeah, he's good. Ran out of magics for the cape, so he took a death. But he will get the hook shot.
Yes. Which is going to lead him to Swamp Palace, which is going to lead him to Bombos, which is going to lead him to Ice Palace. Alright, so we're about to find out what's inside Pyramid Fairy here.
Lin using his power fairy to get to be revived in the Cold Surf fight. And down goes Cold Surf for Lin. So now it's up to the Big Bomb. It's possible. So again, it's still possible that we might have to. It's still possible that if it's not the Fire Rod here, then I would pretty much say we go for Aga 1.
Yeah, and you can mirror right from here, so it actually makes a ton of sense. Do Big Bomb. If it's not Big Bomb, then just mirror straight to Aga.
Yeah, it makes tons of sense here.
Yamachu doing incredible routing. All right, so is Pyramid Fairy the option? The answer? Bombs and Herpes? No, he's going to Aga.
And this is the correct call to make. This is the correct call to make.
Or not?
Are we missing something?
Did he might not have done Hookshot Cave, so he might be heading back up to do that first.
Okay, I mean, that's fine. Yeah, so
I'd rather do that than do Aga, but I know Lin definitely did Hookshot Cave, so we'll have to see if he mirrors to Aga.
I think Lin has a high probability of doing
yes,
Aga.
Mr. Scruff Ninja, Aga is still alive. We don't have a Fire Rod, so yes, and Quake is on the pyramid, the Lumberjack.
Now the only question is if it's not Aga, if it's not the Fire Rod, in either on the Green Pendant or inside Misery Mire, then what else is left? Like, what else do you do? Is it has there's I may have a I have strong, and Lynn's not even going there either.
Yeah, so let's see. Did he not did he not do? I thought he did. No, maybe it was Doomtap that went back. I know one of our runners went back to do Spy Cave. Maybe it wasn't Lynn. Alright, so Gamachu, where do you head? Yeah, he's heading to 4, so it looks like he's heading to Aga. Let's see, is that where he's headed?
It's definitely at the Aga play. This is the Aga play for sure.
Alright, chat, so there's approximately 3 to 5 minutes of this climb of Aga Tower. In chat, from anywhere from 0 to 15, how many blue balls is Aga gonna throw out today?
Way too early, but whatever. But if you want to get your guesses, if you want to get your guesses in chat anyway, then go ahead.
There's no such thing as too early.
Now, I think, if I remember, I think this is. I'm not sure why this is not live. I'm not sure if I'm seeing this right. Okay, I was wanting to make sure the lamp wasn't lit up on the tracker, so.
Yeah, tracker's given some issues, such as it always does.
And so at this point, you hate to see, admittedly, you hate to see it. You've had the knowledge of Aga for so long, and the fact that you have to go and do Aga 1, potentially have to do Aga 1 in order to get to the to get your fire rod, it hurts.
Yeah, and we don't even know if. I mean, we'll full clear Misery Mire, but it's still, we still could have it on the pedestal. It is still possible.
It is possible, yes, and that would also result in new style dungeons. But
yep,
it's still
the math girl sees.
It's likely. It has a high chance of the pedestal, even though I'm not a huge fan of pet seeds, and I'm usually thinking it's 20 rupees. But it's at this point in the game, you're running low on checks. You have to make a guess. You're probably thinking that, yeah, it's more likely than not a pet seed. It might potentially be a pet seed. Also on top of Vagabond, like a pet. At this point in the game, if you find the book in Tower of, or if you find the book in Misery Mire or somewhere else, then it's Misery Mire, Green Pendant, Pedestal, and the tablets.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. There's one blue ball from Aga.
Wait, chat's saying that we didn't see Blind. Does Blind have an item?
Everybody noped out, so I'm gonna guess he does not. But I'm not sure.
I didn't count the items. I honestly didn't count the items. I know that there's four in Thieves Town. I didn't see what else. I know there was 50 rupee or at least 100 rupees in the big chest of Thieves Town.
And down goes Aga 1.
So now that we now have access to the uranium, we have access to the Quake. And to reiterate, we need, so we have, there's about at least 3 more items that we can do.
Yeah.
There's 3 more places that we can go. It's either Misery Mire, the Pedestal, or the Green Pendant.
Question in chat. Yes, we have seen all 3 items, I believe, out of Eastern as well.
Yeah, it was pretty early on in the game, so it's we probably saw the 3 items, and
All right, so now Gamachu has all 3 medallions. We'll have it over to Misery Mire, and let's see if that's where our fire rod is today.
so if it's the fire rod, if the fire rod is on the Misery Mire, which is possible. At this point, you're running low on checks. It is possible. All right, Gamachu is going to open up Misery Mire.
It could be. That would be really interesting if it's a Godmire. Green Pendant Godmire.
And you still have to find 2 items anyway.
Yep. I'm really hoping not to find the fire rod. So it looks like an oops all dungeon seed.
But it is looking possible though.
Yeah. Oh yeah. We've been in all the dungeons now.
Pseudo oops all dungeons, I would say. But
We haven't
But not
finished them all, but we have at least been in them all.
yeah, we've been in all of them. We've been in all of them, but we haven't cleared all of them. It's a pseudo oops all dungeons.
Yep.
All right, so there's no Godmire, which is fine.
Oh yes, chat. Yes, it wouldn't be an all dungeon seed without GT. So, well, yeah, I guess that's also a point too.
GT is mostly just I would say mostly is an end game dungeon, so I don't really count that. And
Alright,
plus,
so is this our fire rod or is this not? Nope. Come
we're still on the hunt.
not only for the fire rod, but we also need the big key too.
Yeah, that not only have to find the big key, but we also need to find. If I would find fire rod or hooks.
There's the big key.
There's the big key. Oh my.
Fire rod will be on Vidi. It's certainly possible.
Perhaps. Now, Gamachu is going to leave out the cutscene chest and instead going to go directly over to the big chest, which is fine.
There's the map. There's a key, so there is an item in. There's an item on Vidi and an item on the cutscene chest.
We have to clear this.
Oh yeah. Oh, Saphir, you are evil. Be locked behind the master shovel. Oh, that's evil. Or even better, how about powder to shovel to fire rod? That sounds gross too.
I told you this already. Don't be like chat.
I'm really trying to just follow what they're saying here. I'm just trying to make it a little worse. Oh, math girl, powder to shovel to book to fire rod down.
Oh my. Come on. Anyway, Gamachu.
So question in chat, they cannot eat fake powder because they had to turn in their mushroom earlier for the moon pearl.
Yes.
There was no chance of fake powdering.
So Gamachu going to do cutscene chest.
There's
the first
fire
item
rod.
here. There it is. So now at 1:18:46, Gamachu's now in go mode.
God darn it. Well, either way, we had to kill Aga, so at least chat gets their Aga seed. We were close. We were so close to a pet seed. So close, but it probably is still couch cash.
Probably Couch Cast, yeah. I like it always is.
Jiggle, it is, don't say never, because there was one seed in the V29 tournament. It was the best of 32 round where it was an Aga pet seed.
V29.
Yeah, it was a V29. I think it was fall tournament of last year.
That was V30.
Then it was 2 years ago. Then it was the V29 tournament.
Rage all you want, chat. Just rage all you want. We got. Let's be fair here, chat. We got close. We got close. Is that good enough for you? Really quick, Lamola's fight.
No, chat's not happy.
I'm sorry. I'm giving you at least some. I'm giving you something. We got close. It's not a Pepsi, but it's close. It was close.
It was close. Now remember how much Matt Cat had with such early things, and now it looks like he might be in last on our restream, which is so interesting. Alright, so Mackin fighting Cold Stare while Gamachu heads towards Mothula. Oh, Domkin is heading towards Vitreous and did not get the fire rod. We'll see if he goes back in. Hopefully he does. Oh, I hope for Doom Tap's sake he goes back into Misery Mine. Alright, so Gamachu will head over to TR.
Read the. I'm kidding. He has a book.
Alright, so is he going back in? Yes, he does. Darn dead rocks. So Doom Tab about to be in go mode. There's the shovel.
So it's not the Master Shovel.
No.
And so Lynn gets his fire rod at 125.32 for go mode.
I think Doom Tap and Lin are gonna when it's pretty much go mode at the same time. Virtually. This is Gamachu's race to lose at this point. Oh, and Lin taking a death. So while we have a few minutes extra while Gamachu climbs TR, please give our runners a follow. Gamachu, Mackin, Doomtap, and Lin. They have put on a fantastic show this afternoon on this Fast Friday open Fast Ganon that turned into a Oops All Dungeon seed, with Fire Rod being in Misery Mire and Aga required for Lumberjack, which was Quake.
Actually, we never cleared Thieves Town, so I wouldn't consider this Oops All Dungeons.
Well, it was an oops. We went into all the dungeons seed, not maybe we didn't clear them, but we went into them all.
Oops Pseudo Dungeons.
Okay, I'll go with that.
Anyway, so there's the first shield on the game. Not like that matters, since probably the shields are like all in GT or something.
That would be kind of funny.
Not like we're gonna be going there anyway, since we have to kill out. We don't have to go up the tower and kill Aga 2. We just go straight to Ganon.
So I guess Aga was like in this siege. You know what? You think it's Fast Ganon? You're not going to kill me? Nope. I'm going to be in the mix today.
Fast Ganon is just subjective.
Exactly. Alright, so Gamachu on to Trinex.
And by Trinex, we mean the boss, not the runner.
Oh, yes.
We love you, Trinex. The runner.
Alright, down goes Firehead. Down goes Icehead. And down goes Trinex. We
Okay.
will see what's on the pedestal, though, short while once Gamachu kills Ganon.
Yeah, this will be a quick
Yeah,
save and quit.
Yeah, with the mirror, yeah. And then you can drop right in because we killed Aga. So actually,
Yep.
there was a reason to kill. It was not a bad thing killing Aga at this point. All right, we're already in phase 2 on Ganon.
Oh, Doom and Tap gonna get dead rot. So entering here again and coming back out.
And Mackin finally making the call to Aga.
Now we haven't got a finisher yet, so if Gamachu can keep this up, we will have our upper win here. Oh, down. So Gamma saving and quitting here is actually good. I like this.
Yeah,
it saves
me
you
too.
it saves you time from having to climb up normally.
Yep, exactly. He will have to be a little bit wary though about his magic consumption. I don't know if he has anything in the bottles. Don't remember.
You should have green potions.
Oh, okay.
Even that, either that or blue potions.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Yeah, as I figured.
I didn't remember him use. I didn't know if he had used his potions or if he had went back to the witch. So. Now we're already back to phase 3.
I get this teleport so far. Okay, never mind. Bruh. Come on. There we go. Alright, back up to phase 4. Doesn't get torch clipped, but that doesn't matter. Alright, down he goes. Alright. Get your GGs in chat for Gamachu. And he will be crossing the bridge very, very soon. Just a 1x3 bridge separates him from winning the game.
And getting first place overall. All right, so he gets an official time of 1:32.24, finishing not only first overall, but first on our restream. Spam those GGs in chat for Gamachu.
Taking the victory royale overall in this race. You have Gamachu on standby, and
joined by Gamachu. GGs.
got time to pick up a GG.
Hey, GG's, thanks.
So
that was quite a seed.
Yeah, so I was gonna get to that. The thing is that it feels bad because you have to. For the longest time, it wasn't an Agus seed like this. But then it came down to the fact that Fire Rod was locked behind Green Pen and Misery Mire, not on the Green Pen itself, but just in the dungeon and probably one of the most annoying places. Probably it's add salt to the wound. It was in the cutscene chest.
Yeah, you know, this is actually my third, not counting the seed I played this morning, but this is my third seed in a row with Fire Rod inside Mire. But you know what was going through my head as I was going through Swamp. Okay,
on standby.
I'm going through Swamp. All I need is Fire Rod. Don't give me lamp. Don't give me bombos. I get bombos. Great. Now I gotta do Ice Palace. And I
So-
do left side afterwards too. I want to try to get as much information as I can before committing to the Aga
Yeah,
play.
I was gonna get to that.
Do
like,
Ice Palace. Oh, great. Now
it-
there's Lamp. Now
the thing is that
Aga's and Logic.
it feels bad because you
And
have to. For the
yeah,
longest time,
I do
it
Pyramid
wasn't an
Fairy.
Aga seed like this.
And at that point,
Then it
okay,
came down to
if
the
it's
fact
not in
that
Hookshot
Fire
Cape,
was locked
I just gotta
behind,
commit to that.
Green Pennant Misery Mire, not on the
And
Green
I'm
Pennant
glad
itself,
it
but just
worked
in
out
the
at the end.
dungeon
I was not gonna do the
at
back end
and
of
probably one of the
Beast
most
Town.
annoying place. Probably
I don't like to do that if it's
add
pendant.
salt to the wound it was in the cutscene chest.
Yeah, we almost had our Aga pet seed, which made chat very happy until we found that fire rod in the in the back of Misery Mire.
Yeah, that was lovely. Did anybody else fall for that key layout in Turtle Rock?
Yes.
Okay, I don't feel too bad now.
You don't have yeah, as we talked about earlier on the restream, that you can get, when all of you guys went into Turtle Rock, we are like, uh-oh, how far can you guys go? And you guys got, I think one or two of you guys went, didn't go to Mimic Cave, but stopped at the Big Key, and then there were like and then the other two went to Mimic Cave. So
yeah, I wanted to get, I'm already that deep inside Turtle Rock. I gotta commit to it. I ended up doing the Mimic Cave, but of course, nothing. And I also,
Misery Mire. Yeah, and then and the Moon Pearl on Mushroom. So Zora had lots of value today too.
Yes. That threw me off because I'm doing all these mountain checks. I thought for sure, okay, Moon Pearl's gonna be up here. Because when I got that mushroom, it was out of logic. I didn't even have the glove, and I didn't even consider it until I finished the Death Mountain checks. I'm like, wait, okay, so it's Eastern. Oh wait, this mushroom, I got this from Zora. It's in logic now since I got the glove from the front of Escape. But yeah, that's something. I was hoping to save that for a fake powder later on.
I think you weren't the only one.
Are you kidding me? Magic Saber, that was half magic.
Well, at least it wasn't your traditional $20.
Like it, or 10 arrows, 3 bombs.
Yeah. So it's at least an item if you blind pull the pedestal. And it's not a bad thing.
Yeah, but
Zora had lots of
It's a nice quality of life item.
yeah, it's a nice quality life item. Or a luxury item, some people call it.
So we have Doomtab heading towards Ganon now. You weren't the only one. Anything else?
Are you kidding me?
You think that
Magic Saber, that was half magic.
or not that you liked or didn't like about your play in this traditional $20?
Like it, or 10 arrows.
No, I think
3 bombs.
I think I did pretty well overall. I usually like to start off in the Village of Outcasts once I get Dark World X's with Hammer.
Yeah, but
yeah, I mean, I don't think it was too bad.
Or
I mean, what was really interesting is Mackin, one of the other runners here on the restream, actually had the gloves way before you did, and he finished. Obviously, is finishing way after. So your routing your change of routing and your execution was spot on. So we have Doomtab heading.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, I mean, I orphaned a few checks here and there. Like I got mitts after I did Village of Outcasts. I'm like, do I want to go back for Smith's Chain? Not really. Because yeah, and what else did I have? Oh, Catfish. That's another lovely one. I didn't feel too bad leaving that one behind. But yeah, everything else just went pretty smoothly.
All right.
Except that Ganon fall.
Taking down Ganon. We'll get his official time as he crosses the bridge here on the restream. Actually had the gloves way before you did. And
Lynn's gonna finish second on the restream with an official Astral time of 1:38:51, and it's good for 5th place overall. Before Lynn, actually, Doomtab's also gonna be finishing up too, so we'll actually get the time for him before we go over to the other runners. And Doomtab is going to finish third on the restream with an official SRL time of 1:39:12. Before Doomtap and Lynn, we had Willard J. Bradley in 4th place with a time of 1:34:07. Macanex in 3rd place with a time of 1:33:35. And Frostbite 3:30 in 2nd place with a time of 1:33:14.
Taking down, and we are now joined by Lynn. GG's. Right?
We're not going to get Doomtap in for an interview, but get GG's chat for him either way. And Lynn's going to finish second on the restream with an official Astral time of 1:38:51, and it's good for 5th place overall. Before Lynn, so actually, you're talking about this on the stream, so and we actually get the time. And it's mostly due to the fact that before we go over to the other. Really, it looked like it wasn't an Agassi for the longest time, and up until that point where third on the restream with an official Astral time of 1:39:12.
I mean,
before Doomtap and Lynn, we had
back there.
Willard J. Bradley in 4th place with a time of 1:34:07. Macanex in 3rd place with a time of 1:35.
You missed out on that lovely red boomerang.
And Frostbite 3:30 in 2nd place with a time of 1:33:14.
I like red boomerang, but when I flip this,
we're not gonna get Doomtap in
it's fine
for an interview, but get GG's chat for him either way.
But yeah, like I didn't run to Zora because with the mirror I figured if I go to Zora now I'm just gonna isolate catfish.
We were talking about this on the stream.
Do something else. I have the mountain open.
That's mostly due to the fact that really it looked like it wasn't an Agassi for the longest time.
Dark World.
Up until that point where it was.
But other than that, I full cleared basically until Aga. So there's no way I'm going back there. I full cleared the rest, so just went there. Aside from Left Side Song, obviously. But I'm not going back there. I have flippers. I did East Town. I didn't kill Armor's Knights and Blind. They didn't have an item, so I just didn't want to kill them. It's fine. Thankfully, it wasn't a pet seed, so it's fine.
Yeah, we were one item away from the pet seed, actually. If that fire rod had not been in Misery Mire, we would have had a pet, pretty much a pet seed. You guys had pretty much checked the rest of the game.
Well, it was either Misery Mire, the Green Pendant, or potentially the pet at that point. It was one of those three. It was close though.
So I'm going to ask both Yamachu and Lynn, had you guys not found the fire rod in Misery Mire and not on Green Pendant and no way to do anything else, would you guys have gone back and finished off the Pendant Dungeons and blind pulled the pistol, or would you have gone back into, I think Lynn, you orphaned Left Side Swamp and a couple of the other places? Would you guys have done that first, or gone and full clear the Pendant Dungeons?
Left Side Swamp for me because it's the fastest compared to the other two. I only had Left Side Swamp left.
Yeah, I probably would have done Thieves Town, back end of Thieves Town, then onto Smith's Chain and Eastern Palace. That was the last thing on my mind. Pet was probably going to be absolute last check.
Fair deal. We are just waiting for Mackin to finish off. He just finished off the his fight with Vitreous, so probably did not go to Cutscene Chest just yet to get his fire rod for go mode.
I was avoiding that. I cleared out everything in Mire except what was it? The big cutscene chest and Vidi. Those two were holding the last two items. And of course I wanted to avoid fighting Vidi if I could.
I mean, especially when
that makes sense.
haven't I haven't killed the other two pennant bosses, so you kind of want to avoid Viri at that point. You want it to be somewhere else.
Yeah.
Well, we found out what Green Pendant had. It had $20. So what's next up for you guys?
I don't know. Probably gonna watch Crystals vs Yoshi, the end of Game 2.
Oh yeah, that's going on right now, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go on and hop on out here. Thank you guys for putting me on Restream. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, same.
You're
You guys are
welcome.
welcome. GG's to both of you.
Thanks.
GG's. Thanks.
So at this point, I guess we can mention a bit of so Matt Cap is on their way over to clear out Thieves Town once and for all. Or Thieves Town, Turtle Rock. I get the two mixed up.
You're not the only one.
Of course, yeah. So I guess we can start naming off a couple of names that we've seen ahead of time. Or I don't know. I'm just I did the this. What a weird state this was. I'll say this. So we first of all, their Magic Bot pretty much had nothing straight up. It's probably the powder would have been in let's just say it's probably going to be was probably in Ganon's Tower after seeing everything that we know of.
Right.
So you had to do. So at the start of the game, you had to go to Zora. You first of all had to get the gloves in order to get the um Zora item, which was the mushroom, in order to get the moon pearl. Then you had Swamp Palace. You had access to uh you had your Titan's Mitts earlier in K73, and you had the flippers on Stumpy. We knew of 3 swords in the entire game, and that was the Floating Islands, the Dig game, and on Helmstar King. And the most important thing too is that we need to get the bombos in order to go to Ice Palace, and that led to the lamp, which was
Then put King
required.
of Samaria, which then would have put King of Samaria and everything else back into the logic. So it's just ugly.
And that also led to Aga 1, led to the Quake on top of Lumberjack Ledge, which was required to get the Fire Rod out of Misery Mire to finish the game.
I actually, if I remember correctly, when we first started, I think I said Fire Rod on Green Pendant or in Misery Mire. So I'm going to take credit for that one.
Did you actually say that?
I believe so. I think I said Fire Rod on Green Pendant could be terrible, because I know Math Girl seeds are terrible in general. So I was just thinking worst case scenario. I think we had already found the ice rods early, so I was like, well, now we can go find Fire Rod on Green Pendant or something. And so yeah. So we'll see. Mackin finish, and we'll see if he wants to join us for an interview after he finishes Turtle Rock.
Yeah, and also we had the other shield, and that was the other shield. So the one shield, and then there's probably two, and as I kind of figured, there was two shields in GT some way in some form.
Or the two shields could be on the tablets. We
Tablets,
without
yeah,
we have no idea.
tablets, yeah, and then there was towers or GT. Why they're one of those?
Or it could have been we still have the shovel that's at large. We don't know what's on the shovel, unfortunately. So we still have that location that was orphaned because we got the shovel already in go mode and already in TR, which was actually on the fire rod lock side anyway.
Right.
And actually, technically, all three medallions were required in this seed as well. Ether for Turtle Rock, Bombos for Ice Palace, and Quake for Misery Mire.
Wait, did we actually get Ether out of Eastern, or
We got Ether at a back of Escape.
Bag of Escape? Right. That still meant that Eastern didn't have anything.
Right. So Eastern didn't have anything of progress. Neither did Thieves Town. But yeah, with Ice Palace having you need to get the hook shot in you need to get bombos from to keep all the logic in check. You need essentially the bombos medallion you needed to go up the mountain first to get the hook shot to go back. Oh, and unfortunately Mackin takes a death. I'm gonna try to keep this all in my brain here. Let's see what happens.
He had I saw he had a fairy in his inventory, so he's gonna use that fairy right now.
Leave him. Hopefully, he does not run out of magic.
I think this is enough? Oh no, never mind. Does he have? Okay, good.
It does that's just one of the worst places to run out of magic.
And considering that
it just shows you another reason why these runners practice those dark rooms. Looking back at this seed, if you had to actually follow the logic to where that lamp was, I mean, it was pretty terrible, but not in the worst possible location. It just is just gross. And so that's why the runners go out of their way to learn these dark rooms early in their racing. And if you want to race, you guys should head over to the ALTTP website and generate yourself a seed and give it a go. And get involved in the community. We always love to see new racers and new people joining the community.
And I also recommend joining the official ALTTP Discord server. That way you get notified whenever we do these races, so that we can hop onto an IRC client, get involved with the SRL system, and just have fun.
Yep. Where is Matt Cat? Is he going to pull the pedestal? Where is he going?
Did he clear Eastern?
I think so. Well, we know the tracker hasn't been working all seed, so I don't know where he's going. Did he not clear?
He's going Skull Woods. I just realized what he's doing. He didn't clear Skull Woods.
Ah, okay. I was wondering. I'm like, wait, why didn't he just go to Ganon? I thought
He didn't clear Skull Woods.
Yeah, I didn't realize that.
I mean, either way, since this was an Agassi, you could have just you could have done Skull Woods first, then Turtle Rock, because you could just. I mean, either way, you'll save and quit and be put on top of the pyramid anyway.
Right, exactly. So it's now just a matter of killing Mothula, and then killing Ganon for Matkin. And also, while Mackin is just finishing up, um, Skullwoods, please give our two trackers, Saphirical and Math Girl, a follow as well. They, despite having some technical issues, tried really hard to keep the trackers going, and they just were just not working today. For whatever the reason, I don't know if they wanted to start an early weekend or not, but they weren't really working in this seed. So hats off to them. They did try their best to keep it going as long as possible. So please give them a follow.
And I think this is the right amount of time to actually start. As Matt Cap is about to finish up the seed, I might as well start reading off names in terms of who else would have finished ahead. Eddie finishing 7th with a time of 1:40.31. Hydropower 78 in 8th with a time of 1:43.10. Corride in 9th place with a time of 1:45.29. Mughal in 10th with a time of 1:45.30, just 1 second behind. And then there's Nale in 11th place with a time of 1:48.21. And 8013 in 12th with a time of 1:51.30. Oh, wait. I
He obviously didn't do Desert Palace either.
I swore I didn't see this when I was reading this ahead. Oh no! It's 1:51. Okay, no, it was 1:51. I said 1:51. I thought it was like much earlier than that, or much later than that. It is so. A0 finishing 12th with a time of 1:51.35. I'm sorry.
Yesterday we actually had a tie for 7th with the exact same time, hour, minute, and seconds. We actually had our first tie on the restream between two of our runners.
That is really nice to see.
Especially with all the changes that the runners do throughout. Yeah, to get an actual tie that exact is very rare, if ever. I mean, I know in the tournaments, what is it, 3 or 4 seconds it's considered a tie? Is it 3 or 4? I'm going to go with 3. I think it's within 3 seconds of each other. I think it's an automatic tie, and then they just re-race it. But here in the dailies, they don't do that. All right, just about done with Land Molas here. And Ed Dump just finished as well in 13th place with 156.29. So just 2 runners left. We have Mackin and Dark Replica. The rest of our 22 runners decided not to finish the seed, so there won't be official times for them.
But that's all the crystals in hand for Matt's Cap.
So now he goes into the portal, saves and quits, and we'll head to GT. I mean, sorry, to Ganon.
Yeah,
It's late in the day.
it is getting late. Yeah, it is getting late. Probably haven't had dinner or anything. But Matt's Cap drops down into the Ganon fight. This will be the last time we have this Ganon fight in this race.
And already on to just about done with phase 1. Should be going into phase 2 here. And while he finishes up, don't forget if you want more randomizer, there's still the tournament going on as well. Plus, there is another fast Friday seed tonight at 9 o'clock. Not sure which channel it's going to be on just yet, so check it out to see which one it'll be on later. But as of right now, we don't have a channel for it, so we're not sure if there's going to be a restream on it this evening. But usually there are daily races at 2 and at 7.
9.
2 and 9.
Yeah.
It's
and
Friday.
Also, if you want some other action outside of Link to the Past randomizer coming up on currently on Speed Gaming 1, we have Billy Hatcher, the Giant Egg, chase for the record. So essentially just going racing to get the world record for a game, for a really obscure Sega game. So if you want to see that, then definitely give a chance to follow these Speed Gaming channels, Speed Gaming's Speed Gaming 1 and Speed Gaming 2 through 6. And of course, of our multilingual channels as well. And Matt Cap is going to put the final arrow into Ganon and get your GGs in chat for the last time.
And he will be the last as well. Looks like he'll be finishing last, I believe, once we get his official time.
So Matt Cap will finish 4th on the race stream with an official SRL time of 1:59.45, and that will be good enough for 15th place overall. And just before Dark Replica finishes 14th with a time of 1:59.39.
Yeah, GG's to everybody. I mean, again, this was not an easy seed because I mean it turned out to be Aga and going into all the dungeons, and it just really threw a lot of people for a loop. So hats off to Math Girl keeping her reputation on that Math Girl seeds being ridiculously trolly to the runners. So yeah. And while we wait for Matt Cat to potentially join us, again, please give our trackers Sapphire and Math Girl a follow. Yeah, they did a great job this afternoon, as well as my co-commentator Professor Render and myself Nitro6003. As we wait on Matt Cat to potentially join us here in the broadcast. Give him another couple of minutes to see if he wants to join us. So as we wait for Mackin, um, just to kind of recap this seed. It was AGA 1 had the Quake medallion, and all the medallions were required as well as all of the medallions were required. Ether for Turtle Rock, Misermire for Quake, and we are now joined by Mackin. GG's.
GG.
Hello, guys. Thank you. How are you?
I'm doing fine.
More
Fine, well-
importantly, how are you?
Well, not that happy. I mean, it was a gamble. I think at the beginning it wasn't that bad with the routing. I think with Sora, with the Pearl and everything, it wasn't that bad. But I mean, obviously, it was against a really stacked race. So I just said, let's gamble something. A little bit later, I realized Turtle Rock was out of logic. I mean, the Somaria King was out of logic in Palace of Darkness. So maybe that made a little bit of a worse gamble, to be honest. But I mean, it was a gamble to try to, to against much better people than me, probably to try to make something out of it.
Well, I mean, you trust me, you weren't the only one that was had a little trouble with this seed, and it was a trolley seed to say the least, with Fire Rod being buried inside Misermire, and of course the lamping in one of the trollier locations inside of Ice Palace, and so yeah, and of course our tracker was being silly this afternoon, so we were having a lot of trouble with that as well. So yeah, I mean, it was just that one of those kind of days.
Yes, speaking of that, oh my god, where was Ice Rod? Was it in the dark or where? Because I didn't realize I had it. That was like the worst of all at the end.
I believe it was in Blindside. I believe.
Oh my god, I didn't mark it. Okay, I just didn't mark it. I'm not sure why. And I mean, it wasn't that bad because I only killed Vitreous and handed in the Grand Pendant. And I mean, at that point, it didn't really matter that much. But yeah, that was another huge mistake once I realized, because I kept looking for the Ice Rod as well.
Oh, I was wondering what you kept looking for, because
Yeah.
I was like, wait, where is he going?
Yeah.
Everybody else had Fire Rod for go mode, and we were like, wait, why? Wait, he's beating Vitreous. Wait, why? But
Totally.
It's better to happen. You know what, Mac? It's better to happen to now, and in a non-tourney situation where you can go back and you can say, you know what, I didn't. You know, it happens. You know, you mismarked something on the track or whatever, and so, you know, better to happen now than in a tournament race where you know you lose your
Totally.
round. So you know, you could just race again later tonight or tomorrow. You know, there's always races to be had.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it was kind of a fun seed. It wasn't that bad. I mean, at the beginning, I think I lacked out at the beginning again. I'm sure some people had worse route at the beginning. I think once I entered the Dark World, I kept looking for some equipment or something too much. Fortunately, I did get the sword, which I did want for Dark Runes, especially in Palace of Darkness. It's a shame only Somaria was there, and after that, I think I did get like kind of lost a bit in the seed logic.
Yeah, I mean, because technically speaking, you would have had to go up to Spike Cave to get the hook shot, to go get the Bombos medallion, to go into Ice Palace, to get the lamp, to then go to get the Kena Samaria, to then
Ganon, right?
Logic. So yeah, it's great. It's definitely, and that's what I was saying earlier on the restream, is that's why you guys don't look for the lamp. Essentially, you guys just do the dark rooms, and people who are not here, you know, the practice of those dark rooms, and you guys all nailed them without a doubt. And of course, the hardest dark rooms are the Aga Tower and Misermire. Thankfully, you didn't have to do those in the dark.
Yeah, totally. I mean, because I did think for a moment to just gamble the Misermire medallion and just try. I mean, I've only done it a couple of times, but it normally turns out okay. I'm gonna name dark, but again, we would have need the lamp for the left side of Misermire, so it would have done anything at all.
So
Totally.
anything else you wanna
No,
Close it up.
not much else, I guess. It wasn't that good of a run for me, obviously. I mean, the gamble didn't turn out, and again, it was a really trolley seat, as you said. But well, I mean, it was fun. It's always fun to be able to compare yourself against much better runners. And big thanks to always to you, to the commentaries, to the trackers, to the streamers, and to the viewers for watching. Thank you so much for everything.
You're welcome. All right, folks. Well, that's gonna kind of do it for us here. Please, again, give all of our runners a follow, plus our trackers who's tried so hard to keep everything working when they didn't. Saphir and Math Girl, who did our tracking today, and my co-commentator, Professor Render. So for all of us here at the Speed Gaming Networks, I am Nitro603. Have yourself a fantastic Friday.